Welcome back, and in this segment we will be talking about synchronized swimming in Egypt, and we will be meeting a team full of champions. And I'm happy to have with me today in the studio Miss Yasmine Mohammed, and she's the coach of the team. Also I'm happy to have Reem Mohammed as well as Salma, Sherif and Nariman Khalid. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning all of you. Let me start with you, Captain Yasmine, and you can tell us more about the team and more about, I know all of you are exerting the effort actually, and we're very proud of the whole team.
Okay, we just finished our competition from last week, last Friday. We took the cup as shooting club for all the under 12, under 18, under 15. It was very tiring time, but now it's good.
Now, tell us more about the training. How many hours do the girls train? And I understand that actually the team is bigger in number.
We train 6 days per week. After school around 6 o'clock. We finish around 10:30, 11. They start with gym for 1.5 hours. Then they start swimming and do synchronized swimming.
So can I ask you, I would like to know more about your training, your time management, how do you arrange your day, and when did you start? I don't know, to start with Salma, because you're sitting just When did you start? You started with the synchronized swimming or gymnastics?
Swimming first when I was 4, and then when I turned 5 I started synchronized swimming.
It was your choice?
Yes. Again, yeah, I've been practicing for almost 15 years. I go to university in the morning, and then finish, go to the training, then sleep.
And you have time to study and all?
Yes, in between.
Yes. What about you, Nour? Tell me, when did you start, and did you start also with swimming or synchronized swimming directly?
No, I started with the gymnastics, and then I began swimming, and then at 5 I started synchronized swimming, but this was my mom's choice. And I've been practicing synchronized swimming for almost 15 years too.
And
Nariman?
I started practicing synchronized swimming when I was 5. I started swimming first, and then I have been practicing synchronized swimming for like 13 years now. And I'm still in school, so I go to school and then go back home, go to the training, and the exact same thing every day.
Talking about sports in general, and maybe as Salma mentioned, Salma, right?
Yes.
Gymnastics, you started
No,
with...
no, she started.
Nour started.
So talking about the idea of starting with basics to build the body, what is the best to start with? Is it the gymnastic? Is it the swim? Tell us more about how important.
Is very useful for every sport because of the flexibility, the balance, the power. So the base always
Even
is
though it is very hard actually.
Yes. But this one is the best sport for beginning any sport else. It's gymnastics.
Yeah.
Then swimming, of course.
Now, before we started the interview, you told us that actually if you're preparing for the Olympics, the training will be different than if you're preparing for a local championship. Now, would you tell us the difference? In what ways? Of course, I understand Olympics will be harder, but in what ways the techniques would be different?
It's completely different for the hours of training. The preparation itself, the program, the swimming program, the gym program, and the way you put the choreography for the team or for the duet. We get a professional coach for the gym, professional coach for the choreography. Everything is calculated.
Salma, talking about your synchronized swimming and your personality, you yourself, after participating, of course, you passed through many different challenges, competitions, you participated with many of the athletes. Well, of course, this changed a lot inside you, and the idea of synchronized swimming itself, I know it's something, it's very unique as a kind of sports.
Synchronized swimming taught me how to manage my time, how to be responsible, how to work with the team, how to have a team spirit. I have to love my team, I have to trust them in order to have a good routine, a good results at the end. That's it.
Nour, would you tell me about your experience at the Olympics? Because you told me that actually you were the youngest team.
Yes, we were the youngest team. We ranked 7th. But we're the youngest team. We go to schools, we go to universities. Other teams, like Russia, for example, they don't have schools. Yani they live for synchronized swimming, they do synchronized swimming, and they get paid for synchronized swimming.
Yes.
So
Tell me
there's a
about
huge
your
difference.
experience there, going there and the participation. What have you learned from it? Your personal experience.
My personal experience, it was overwhelming. I was overwhelmed there. It's like my dream basically came true.
How are you supported with your parents, with your family? And as you mentioned, you're still in school, and of course studying. I know you have a lot of things to do actually. So how do you manage your time? And tell us more about the support of your family as well.
My parents were very supportive at that time. Like as Salma said, synchronized swimming taught me how to manage my time and how to be responsible. So it was one of the factors that helped me to manage my time, and my parents were very supportive, so it was balanced actually.
What about the challenges you faced in the sport? Would you talk to me about what challenges have you faced, Salma, for instance?
Studying, it was the major thing, because we didn't have time to study. So we had to manage, مثلا we take less sleep than hours than studying. Manage.
What
And
about
social
you?
life.
And social life.
You have to sacrifice a lot. You have to
And
sacrifice
this is the
with your
most
social
important
life.
part that I like actually, because they are busy. The youth, they need
You
to,
actually start your life after finishing your sport.
and this
Yes.
can never happen actually. And again, from here, let me ask you about the challenges we face here in Egypt, because athletes in Egypt, just as she mentioned, for example, abroad, they have many privileges if they are studying in school, to the university. The country is supporting them, actually.
Yes, here we are not supported at all.
So we're talking
You
about
are
funding,
treated
we
like
are talking
normal
about
students.
education, we are talking about a lot of things.
Yes, and you are treated like a normal student. You have to the attendance,
Exams at a certain
exams,
time.
everything, projects, quizzes.
Is
everything.
it the case abroad?
No.
Tell us
Definitely
more
not.
about the...
I think in Homa they got their special schools, sports schools. They study their sport. When I choose to play synchro, so she studies synchro. She studied the muscles, she studied the flexibility, the injuries, everything related to synchro. Less exams, less quizzes.
Or flexible timing.
Yes, flexible timing. They got hours during the studying day for synchro. Like you go 2 classes, then you go practicing for 4 hours.
So if you are a successful one, whether you are a champion and in education, so you are an athlete on its own.
Now, actually, there are a variety of routines. You can have the team, you can have a solo or a duet, trios, combos, so on and so forth. Now, the last, most probably the competitions, you'll be doing a team routine. Now, tell me more about training them, because that will require that you train them as a team and then you train them individually or as duets as well.
The hardest routine is the team. It's the hardest one because you have to, the girls have to be synchronized, 8 girls in the same time. So this is, and it took a long time to do it. Then duet, it's very difficult because if one girl is not synchronized with the other, it's ruined. The solo is the easiest one because you are doing alone, you are synchronized with the music, and that's all.
And from the word synchronized, synchro, this is the point I'm enjoying, just taking a look at what we are watching right now. And which movement is the most difficult, for example, just being under the water and dancing legs up? Which one is the most difficult? Because I can see the 3 of you, you're just watching,
We get used to every movement we do. So there's...
How long will it take you, for example, to practice and to master a movement, for example?
It
depends.
It depends on the move.
How heavy is the move?
So, but as you mentioned, it's all the same. You don't have the one that is more difficult or more challenging.
No,
we do have.
we do have
Like
more
what?
challenging ones.
But
like if you raise your 2 arms up, for example, this is more challenging than staying with both arms underwater. If you raise both legs, it's more difficult
than raising one leg only.
Yes. Now, when you're doing the techniques, choosing the routine and the music, Now, would that depend on which team you'll be challenging or the place where you will
Yes,
be?
the place. Sometimes the place, and sometimes we prefer to do something for our culture, music like our culture. In the Olympics, we did African music because we are presenting African continent, the only team presenting Africa. So it depends. And Michael Jackson, we did one Michael Jackson and we did one African music.
Which country we can say that this is the favorite when it comes to the synchronous swimming?
Russia.
Russia are the best, but I enjoy watching Spain.
Italy.
Spain, Italy?
Canada.
Yeah, so completely different, but you are watching the technique. Is this what attracts you, or the way they are dancing all together?
The style they swim.
Because also, as you mentioned, the spirit of the team, which we lack actually nowadays among Arab nations, you know. But to have a team and you are all working or acting as one man, this is another interesting part.
Yes, we rate them to be one family. We are one family. We are not a team. We are a family. They used to sleep together, eat together, go to school, everything together. So that's why they are successful.
And would you tell us more about the awards? Because at the beginning of the episode, we've mentioned one award, one winning competition. Tell us more about the team and the awards.
I think we took the third place in Spain, 216. In the Olympics, we got the 7th place, which was not bad. It was good. The Common Cup, we usually take medals.
What are you preparing for? What is coming next?
Now I quit the national team coaching, but there is another coach. I think they are preparing for Budapest. I'm not sure.
Well, we need to talk more about it, but unfortunately we have to wrap up today's segment. Thank you very much, Coach Yasmine Mohammed. Thank you very much as well, Nariman Khalid, and of course Nour Mohammed, as well as also Salma Sherif. Thank you very much and congratulations, and I wish you always the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Breakfast Show. But first of all, I have to thank my colleague Nashwa Rosha.
Thank you, Rosha. Thank you all for joining us on this episode of our Breakfast Show. And remember to join us again tomorrow, same time, with our colleagues for more on the show. Till then, thank you for joining us and stay tuned for more coming up on Nile TV International.
نصر دين واجب عليك قم يا مصري مصر دايما بتناديك خد نصري نصر دين واجب عليك شوف جدودك يغربهم بالنهار من جمودك كل عظمة بتستجار من أثارك يلي دنست الأسرار دول فتولك مجد وانت مبدعار مصر جنة كل ما فيها انسانية